Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Wherever you are right now, whether you are sitting quietly with your first cup of coffee, listening to the sounds of the morning outside your window, or simply lying still before the day begins, I am really glad you chose to be here. I'm Gavin, and this is your weekly English morning motivation. Before we begin today, I want to ask you something simple. How was yesterday? Not last year, not last month, just yesterday. Was it extraordinary? Was it full of excitement and adventure and big moments? Probably not. Probably yesterday was ordinary. You woke up. You got dressed. You ate something. You went to work or stayed home. You did the things you needed to do. You came back. You slept. An ordinary day. And here is what I want to talk about today. Those ordinary days, the quiet ones, the unremarkable ones, the ones that seem to leave no trace. They are not nothing. They are everything. Today, we are going to talk about the gift of ordinary days. Let me tell you something that changed the way I see my life. A few years ago, I visited an old friend who was very ill. He had been sick for a long time, and he knew better than any of us that his time was limited. I expected the visit to be heavy and sad, and parts of it were. But what surprised me most was what he talked about. He didn't talk about the big moments. He didn't talk about his greatest achievements or his most exciting adventures. He didn't talk about the extraordinary days. He talked about Tuesday mornings. He talked about the smell of coffee in his kitchen on a slow Tuesday morning. The sound of rain on the window. The feeling of his dog curled up at his feet. The simple pleasure of reading the newspaper without rushing. He said to me, with tears in his eyes and a smile on his face, I would give anything for just one more ordinary Tuesday. I have never forgotten those words. One more ordinary Tuesday. The days we barely notice. The days we rush through. The days we call boring or uneventful or just another day. Those are the days that, in the end, turn out to be the most precious of all. We live in a world that is obsessed with the extraordinary. Social media shows us highlight reels, the vacations, the celebrations, the big announcements, the perfect meals, the beautiful sunsets that someone else remembered to photograph. And slowly, without realizing it, we begin to feel that our own lives are not enough. Our ordinary Tuesday does not look like anyone else's extraordinary Saturday. And so we wait. We wait for the weekend. We wait for the holiday. We wait for the promotion, the vacation, the big event, the special occasion. We put our happiness on hold, somewhere in the future, and we sleepwalk through our present. But here is the truth that my friend understood in a way I could not. until he told me.
Your life is not happening in the extraordinary moments. Your life is happening right now, in the ordinary, in the quiet, in the unremarkable, unhighlighted, uncelebrated Tuesday. This is your life, and it is happening whether you notice it or not.
There is a beautiful Latin phrase, carpe diem. Most people translate it as seize the day, but a more accurate translation is something closer to pluck the day, like plucking fruit from a tree, gently, carefully, with attention and appreciation. Not seize, as in grab it violently and force it to be something it is not.
Pluck, as in notice it, appreciate it. Take what it offers, gently and gratefully. Ordinary days are full of things worth plucking. The warmth of sunlight on your face through a window, the smell of rain on dry ground, the sound of a familiar voice, the taste of something simple and good, the feeling of clean sheets, a moment of unexpected laughter, a bird singing outside your window before the world wakes up.
These things are there every day. Most days, we walk right past them, but they are there, and they are gifts, and they are your life. I want to share with you a practice that changed how I experience ordinary days.
It is called the One Beautiful Thing Practice. Here is how it works.
Every evening, before you sleep, think of one beautiful thing from your day. Just one. Not the most exciting thing. Not the most productive thing. Not the thing you would post on social media. Just one small, quiet, genuine moment of beauty from your ordinary day.
Maybe it was the way the light looked at a certain time of afternoon. Maybe it was a conversation that made you feel understood. Maybe it was a meal that tasted exactly right. Maybe it was a moment of silence that felt unexpectedly peaceful.
Find it. Hold it in your mind for a moment. And feel grateful for it. That is all.
This practice does something remarkable over time. It trains your attention. It teaches your brain to look for beauty. And what you look for, you begin to find more of.
After a few weeks of doing this, you start to notice beauty during the day, not just at night. You find yourself pausing in the middle of an ordinary moment and thinking, this is the one beautiful thing.
And slowly, your ordinary days stop feeling ordinary at all.
Now I want to talk about something a little deeper. Why is it so hard to appreciate what we already have? Psychology has a name for this. It is called hedonic adaptation. It means this: human beings are incredibly good at getting used to things. When something good happens, a new job, a new relationship, a new home, a new phone, we feel happy, excited, grateful. And then we adapt. The new job becomes just the job. The new home becomes just home. the excitement fades. The gratitude quietly disappears. And we start looking for the next thing, the next upgrade, the next achievement, the next extraordinary moment, to bring back that feeling of aliveness. This is not a character flaw. It is simply how the human brain works. We were designed to adapt. It helped our ancestors survive. But it also means that we are constantly running towards something new and forgetting to appreciate what is already here. The antidote to hedonic adaptation is simple, but it requires practice. It is attention. Deliberate, conscious, repeated attention to what is already good in your life. Not just thinking about it, actually feeling it. Pausing in the middle of an ordinary moment and letting yourself really feel how good it is to be alive, right now, in this moment, with what you already have. This is not toxic positivity. This is not pretending everything is perfect. It is simply choosing, again and again, to notice the good that is already there. Before we get to today's vocabulary, I want to say something to those of you who are learning English. Some days your learning will feel ordinary too. You will sit down to practice, and nothing will feel exciting. You will listen and understand, but it won't feel like a breakthrough. You will read or write or speak, and it will feel like just another day of showing up. On those days, remember this. The ordinary days of learning are where real progress lives. The breakthrough moments, the sudden flashes of understanding, the days when everything clicks, those happen because of all the quiet, ordinary days of practice that came before. Every ordinary day you show up for your English. Every ordinary episode you listen to. Every ordinary word you look up. Every ordinary sentence you practice is a brick in the foundation of something real and lasting. Do not underestimate your ordinary days. They are doing more than you know. Now, let's look at today's key vocabulary. Unremarkable. Unremarkable means not particularly interesting or special. Ordinary, without anything that stands out. For example, the days that seem unremarkable are often the most precious in the end. Word number 2, obsessed. To be obsessed means to think about something constantly, so much that it is hard to think about anything else. For example, we live in a world that is obsessed with the extraordinary. Word number 3, highlight reel. A highlight reel is a collection of only the best or most exciting moments, leaving out everything ordinary or difficult. For example, social media shows us highlight reels, not real life. Word number 4, hedonic adaptation. Hedonic adaptation is the human tendency to quickly return to a normal level of happiness after a positive or negative event. For example, hedonic adaptation explains why new things stop feeling exciting after a while. Word number 5, antidote. An antidote is something that counteracts or removes the effects of something harmful or negative. For example, the antidote to hedonic adaptation is deliberate attention to what is already good.
Word number 6. Deliberate. Deliberate means done consciously and intentionally, on purpose, with full awareness. For example, appreciating ordinary days requires deliberate, conscious attention. Word number 7. Foundation. A foundation is the base or groundwork on which something is built. For example, every ordinary day of practice is a brick in the foundation of real progress.
We have reached the end of today's episode, and I hope somewhere in these past 15 minutes, you felt something shift, even just a little. I hope you thought of your friend or your mother or yourself and felt a quiet wish to pay more attention, to slow down, to notice. I hope that today, this ordinary day, feels a little less ordinary to you now. Because it is not just another day. It is a gift, a specific, unrepeatable, once-in-a-lifetime gift. This morning will never come again. This version of you, in this moment, reading or listening or simply breathing, this will never happen again. And that makes it extraordinary. Notice it. Appreciate it. Pluck it. Gently. Like fruit from a tree.
One beautiful thing. Every day. That is all.
Thank you so much for spending this morning with me. If today's episode spoke to something quiet inside you, please give it a like. Share it with someone who needs a gentle reminder to slow down, and subscribe so we can keep growing together every week. I'm Gavin. Notice the ordinary. Find the beautiful. Treasure the Tuesday. And I will see you next week.